and living in gratitude and joy for life shared and future gained. Amen.
So thank you very much for that, Father. So our theme tonight for this celebration is going to be the gift of mentoring. And we have a very strong, excellent program for you tonight. Father Sundborg is here to share some reflections about mentoring and may perhaps give us some update on his plans. We'll see. Provost Shane Martin is also here to say a few words of welcome. And then luckily, when your boss and your boss's boss speak, there's not much left for you to say. But if there is anything, I will let you know. Okay. But seriously, we'll also hear from 4 of our students about their experience with the mentor program. And then we'll be celebrating our mentors who will be receiving 5, 10, 15, 25, and 30-year awards this afternoon. So sit back and relax. It's going to be a really interesting and fun program. So first, let me start off with Father Steve Sundborg, the president of Seattle U. As you may know, he has been our president for 24 years. He will be retiring at the end of this month, and I'm sure he's very busy, but nevertheless, he's been able to carve time out of his schedule for us in this event. And we appreciate that. And of course, many of you already know that Father's been very supportive of this event over the years. He's almost always showed up to speak. Normally, it's been in the law school, I think, face to face, but obviously we're not doing that this year. But we're very fortunate to have him joining us this afternoon. So, Father Steve.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Joe, and thanks for bringing us. Really great. I'm within 16 days of finishing 24 years as president of Seattle University, and it's great to be able to gather with the mentors in the Albers School of Business and Economics. And I've been with you many times over the years when you've had your annual gathering, and I remember, I think, when you celebrated your 30th anniversary of mentoring and that celebration. I see Jesse Tam here. He was a long time mentor within Albers. I know it's Albers and it's accounting, and now it's the MBA and sports and entertainment management. And I really appreciate what it is that you do for Seattle University. I believe it's one of those signature programs that you don't find in many universities that makes us a distinctive kind of university. I think I saw the figure sometime that there were 400 students in Albers who were getting mentoring in their lives and in their directions in their careers. And well, that just doesn't happen many places, that there's that kind of a program and it has this tradition and it has this number of people that are involved in it and make it happen. So you do a lot of good for our students, and you do a lot of good for Albers School of Business and Economics by making it such a great program. And it's one of the reasons it's so highly ranked within the country. Is this is one of the things that makes it a significant program. You know, people have been asking me more recently, because I'm stepping down from being president of Seattle University after almost too long a tenure. Who's your mentor, or who are your mentors? And I always say that my biggest mentor is Jim Sinegal, the co-founder of Costco. I've had the privilege of knowing Jim from the very beginning of my time as president. He was on the board, and in fact, he was on the search committee when they brought me on as president of the Seattle University. And Jim's never been sort of a mentor in a strict sense. I haven't gone to him and said, Jim, would you mentor me? But he's mentored me by his witness and by his comments and by the way in which he leads his life and the way in which he founded and led Costco. And it has to do with the values that he holds, the consistency he has with them, the way in which he directly deals with people, and the people are the most important thing. His incredible way of being a hands-on leader, that he wants to be engaged with it and have his hands all over it and be involved with it. And their values are very simple. And the very first one is obey the law. And I've often just, Jim has been a great mentor for me over the years, and I really appreciate that. And sometimes mentoring can go on without a sort of an official kind of a paradigm or a structure for it. It's just by the way in which we help younger people learn something of what our own experience is. I think of other people, maybe you know Steve Hooper, who is with Ignition Partners and was with McCaw Cellular. He's been a mentor also. There are other people that have been like that in my life. But other ones that I think about in the Jesuit career is Father Frank Costello, who was the academic vice president at Seattle University. and in a completely different kind of relationship of Federico Arvezu from Cuba, who was very important to me as mentoring me when I was a young priest. So mentoring is just such a critical kind of a thing in our lives. And I don't know if all of you were at a session in mentoring where I gave you the Greek origins of mentoring itself. And let me repeat it in case you weren't there. It's an interesting little fact that Homer wrote two great epics. One of them was the Iliad, and the other one was the Odyssey. And they were written something like 800 or 900 BC. And one of them was the Odyssey, and it's a story about Odysseus and from the Isle of Ithaca. And when Odysseus set off to go to the Trojan War, he knew that he was going to be away for a very long period of time. And so he was concerned about his son, who was named Telemachus. And so he decided that he wanted to find someone, a good friend, someone he could really trust, who would accompany and would guide Telemachus while Odysseus was away fighting the war in Troy. And so he chose this man, and his name happened to be his proper name. It was just the name that he had. It didn't mean anything. It was just the name. It was Mentor, and it was Mu, Ada, Nu, Tau, Omega, Rho, Mentor. That was the proper name of this friend of his. And so from that, we get the word about mentoring. So its origins are placing someone in the care of trust in another person when you're away and you need that person to be guided. And that's the origins in our language of mentoring. And I think that's a very it's important to know that, because it's a very personal kind of a relationship. You don't just ask anybody to be a mentor. You ask someone who's a friend or someone who's a personal relationship with you to care for someone that you care about. So thank you for being the mentors for our own students at Seattle U. I think Joe asked, and it might be helpful for you to know a little bit about what do I see as some highlights from my 24 years as president of Seattle University. They're fairly simple. I think I always start about the most important thing that I've done or been involved with is helping to shape the mission statement of our university. Back in 2002, we developed a one-sentence mission, and that really guides the university, and everything that we do is encapsulated within it, and it really has a power that is still present. I'm very proud of that. The second thing is the founding of the Seattle University Youth Initiative, which is this tremendous initiative within the 100 square blocks that are adjacent to Seattle U, and particularly with the kids in Bailey Gatzert and Washington Middle and Garfield High School and International District and so forth. And that's just something that distinguishes what Seattle U is. And we're very fortunate to have developed that and have such a great leader. I think it's more than 10 years that that's been established. The third thing would be two huge capital campaigns, one in the last decade and one in the most recent decade. And they've been both successful, and they're very important because they put like gas in the tank for the future of Seattle U. And we're very, very excited about what the most recent campaign has made possible for Seattle U by way of scholarships for students, by way of a brand new Center for Science Innovation will be named for Jim and Jan Sinegal. In terms of the athletic support at Seattle University, endowed chairs, it's been a very, very successful campaign. Fourth thing I'm most proud about is having brought Seattle University from Division III to Division II to Division I in athletics. I think that's a very important thing about our kind of a university at a Jesuit university, is the role of student athletes at our university and what that's done for the overall character of the university. And I think just overall, I think I've helped to strengthen the reputation of Seattle University within our community and more widely. And that's something that you just keep working at and letting people see the kind of university you are and who are the people connected, who are our faculty, who are our staff, who are our friends, who are our donors, who are our mentors. So that's part of what I've been about. Some people are saying that they think the toughest job in America is being the president of a university, tougher than being a CEO. There's just more constituencies. There's more tensions to be able to be engaged with. I don't know if it's true. When people ask me, do you enjoy being president of Seattle University? I don't think I could say yes in my first 10 years, but I do enjoy it now. Once you're able to do it the way in which you do it in your own way, then you begin to enjoy it. It might be tough, but it's also become something that's sort of natural over a period of time, and I've just loved doing it. I want to just say a word about the person who's going to be the next president of Seattle University. His name is Eduardo Peñalver. He's a person that grew up in Puyallup, Washington, went to Cornell University, became a Rhodes Scholar, studied in Oxford for 2 years, went to Yale Law School, worked in the private sector, taught at Fordham University, and then came to Cornell Law and then the University of Chicago Law, and has been for the last 7 years the dean of Cornell's Law School. And he'll be starting July 1st as president of Seattle University. He'll be the first person who's not a Jesuit after 22 Jesuits, or the president since 1891. Just a wonderful person, and it means a lot to be able to hand over the reins to a person like that. My own sort of personal future is I'm being given a year off by the Jesuits. Do whatever you want, and don't talk about what you're going to do next until you're halfway through that year, and then we'll work that out. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a break from after these years, and I just go out with a great consolation, a great feeling of goodness. And what it really comes around is not so much what are the things you've done, but who are the people with whom you've worked, and who are the good people that have just made what Seattle University is about and your work with them such an important thing. So I just find so important who are those people, and you, the mentors of Seattle University, are among them. So thanks for inviting me to be with you. I look forward to the rest of the program and your milestones that are going to be recognized in this. So thanks very much, Joe.
Thank you so much, Father. Thank you for reminding us about mentoring and the importance of it and the origins of it. And of course, we can't tell you enough how grateful we are that you've served as our president so well for 24 years and been such an inspirational leader for so many people. So I'm going to say it one more time. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say it again. It won't be the last time, but because we can't say it too many times.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything you've done for us.
Thanks.
So next, we're fortunate to have with us Provost Shane Martin. He is my boss, so everybody pay very close attention and listen to everything he has to say. So seriously, Shane Martin oversees, if you're not familiar with University Talk, the provost oversees all the academic enterprise of our institution. So therefore, he's very influential, and we want to hear from him. So Shane, please, the microphone is yours.
Thanks, Joe, and good afternoon to everyone. And Father Steve, thanks for the great way that you framed the importance of mentoring. I'm just going to offer a few brief words. Along with Father Steve and Dean Phillips, I extend my thanks to all of you for everything that you do. As Joe mentioned, I have a role here as the Chief Academic Officer at Seattle University. I get to work with the deans and I get to work with the faculty. And in so many ways, those of you that are serving in the role as mentors, you're very much an extension of our faculty. In Jesuit education, we are committed to the education of the whole person, body, soul, mind, spirit, and that integration. And we believe that learning happens in multiple places. Of course, it happens in the classroom, but it happens outside of the classroom. And it's that wonderful relationship between learning in the classroom and learning in other settings that we believe is really the heart of Jesuit education and develops that well-rounded whole person that Seattle U and other Jesuit institutions offer the world. We couldn't do that without your partnership. So it's sincere and deep gratitude because you truly are an extension of us in the way that you work and help form our students and build that bridge between the university and the real world of the various industries and opportunities that they'll have. So sincere thanks and gratitude to everyone. And I look forward to hearing from you and our students in this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Provost Martin. Couldn't have said it better in terms of how the mentor program is part of the holistic education of our students in the Albers School. So thank you for that. Thank you for being with us. So mentors. Wow. Thank you so much for being so flexible and pivoting with us into continuing our mentor program in our pandemic environment and being able to switch over and do it virtually and do it so well. I think it's no exaggeration to say that the mentor program was no more important to our students over its 30 plus years of history than this year, because it's been such a difficult year for students. And I know that those that participated in the mentor program got such comfort out of having this available to them and having a mentor to work with this year. Like this was, if you were going to have a mentor as a Albers student, this was the year to have it, right? Because this is a year where you're really fighting to feel like you're part of a community. You're fighting to isolation that could set in if you're just seeing all virtual classes and you're not living on campus. So it's really been a tough year for our students, and all of you have been there for them, and we appreciate that so much. As I said, there would not be much for me to talk about. So thank you, Father Steve and Shane, for doing that. But I'm sure you're curious about the fall, and we are expecting to come back face to face in the fall. We are expecting that the mentor program will be more face to face than it has been this year. Obviously, we have to wait and see what the guidelines are and the state of Washington allows for, but we're cautiously optimistic that whatever it is, it'll be more face to face than it was this year. And things are looking good for the fall in terms of enrollment. Our incoming freshman class looks to be strong. Our new graduate enrollment, not just in Albers, but across the campus, looks to be good. So we're optimistic. And it's also fair to say that I think we got through this year, which, as you know, is just ending because we had graduation on Sunday. We got through this year doing better than we thought we would in terms of all variables, in terms of the number of COVID cases across our students, faculty, and staff, in terms of our enrollment and our retention of our students, in terms of students being in the dorms and being able to stay on campus. And just from a financial standpoint, we probably got a little bit more aid from the government than we counted on. We spent less money on sort of non-salary items. If people are not traveling, they're not spending money when they do it and so forth. So I think you roll it all up and you can say that we landed better than we had feared. And we're very grateful for that. So, but let's celebrate the mentor program itself. This year we had 160 mentors working with 275 students. So I think that's pretty good because the pandemic does make it more difficult for students to engage in the program, and also for mentors to be able to step up and do it year after year. So thank you all for that, you being part of the 160 mentors that contributed to that. And we just really want to say again, we appreciate your flexibility, your stepping up, your continuing to participate in the program in what obviously was a very interesting year. So we're very fortunate to have 4 students with us today, and they're going to give you their reflections on their experience with the mentor program. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Megan Spalding, and she is going to introduce our first 2 students. Megan?
Great. Thanks, Joe. Hi, everyone. It's great to see you all today, and thanks for joining us. I know many of you are so busy, so we really appreciate you taking time out of your work schedules to be with us. It's nice to see your faces. I've missed seeing so many of you this year in person, so hopefully we can remedy that next year. And I know I speak for all the program coordinators for all 3 of our programs, in that we are so grateful for the commitment and dedication and care and support you have given our students this year. And just, echoing what Provost Martin said, just being an extension of what we're trying to do at Seattle U, and really walking our students through probably one of the most challenging times in their life. And it just felt so good to know you were out there supporting them and helping them through such a tricky time. So thank you so much. So we're gonna we have 4 students with us today. We're gonna break it up a little bit and start with 2. So first, I'd like to introduce Ayman Hamid. He's an MBA student who just graduated on Sunday. Congrats to him. And he participated in the Albers mentor program for 2 years. So he benefited from getting to work with 2 mentors. So Eamon, I'm going to turn it over to you if you want to say a few words.
Sure. First of all, thank you, Megan, Mary Lou, Justin, Abigail, and everybody at the Albers Placement Center for setting up a wonderful, wonderful program. And also I'm very thankful for all the mentors for taking time out of their busy schedule to listen to us about, when we're soliciting career advices or we're just venting about something that we went through or experienced. The mentoring program with Albers has been one of the best highlights, if not the best highlights I've had within my MBA program. I came into the program with, being there was a gap of about 8 years or 9 years between degrees, right? So I was nervous. I was I don't want to say a train wreck, but I was nervous. I didn't think I was ready. There was a lot of things, and I lucked out and I got matched to a very an amazing mentor on my first trial or on my first year, and I was able to have that candidate conversation with him from the beginning. So we were able to build that relationship, establish that trust from the beginning. And honestly, after that year, I can see the impact not just on my academic career, but also my professional career as well as my personal life as well. He was able to provide me with tools and processes to navigate things like a difficult conversation at work, how to handle situation that arise, right? How to be more, how to have better emotional intelligence. And he even went beyond that, right? So when I was even getting ready for a career switch and I didn't know where to go and I didn't know what direction I wanted to go, I brought up that up to him, and he actually ended up inviting me for an entire day to sit down with him at the office prior to the COVID. So from that moment, I knew that which direction I wanted to go, and thanks to his coaching and mock interviews and constant pressure on expecting the best out of me and driving me to do better, I'm actually, I'm happy to say that I'm actually going into that sector here within the next couple of weeks. So the last thing I'll close out with is for mentors, don't underestimate how much of an impact this mentorship really means to people. You might not see it directly. A lot depends on the students. They might not be able to verbalize that back to you, but we are very, very, very grateful for this program and for your time. And I can echo that even from my cohort. One of the things that we've talked about, how great of a mentorship program that we have. So with that, I'll turn it over back to you, Megan.
Thanks, Eamon. So appreciate it. And congrats again on graduating. We're going to miss you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Sam Nunez. Sam is an undergrad accounting student. She's a senior. And this past year, she participated in the accounting mentor program, I believe with Dave McMillan, who's one of our mentors who's here. So Sam, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Megan. So hello, my name is Sam Nunez, and I just recently graduated on Sunday. And I participated in the mentorship program, the accounting mentorship program, with Dave McMillan. He was my mentor. And I think what was really unique about this experience for me was how tailored to every student the program is to really address their questions, their concerns. I remember the first meeting I had with Dave, he showed up with a bunch of ideas and topics that we could really talk about, but it was really up to me to really decide on what the topics and the meetings were about. I particularly was really curious about career exploration when it came to the long run. I kind of had everything set up for the next year or two, but after that, I really wanted to see what my options were. And Dave really helped me with that, not just with sharing his own experience and answering my questions, but to also connecting me with other professionals. We had a guest speaker who was a CPA and practicing international tax. So I was able to listen to his experience and ask him questions. We had a tax attorney who was able to speak to me about law school and what that would look like. And I think that's what was really special to me about the program, to really have something that was very individualistic to me and to my questions and my concerns that I had. And then we did also touch on like the more workshop style topics. So we did LinkedIn reviews and resumes and dress codes. But overall, it was a really great program, and I was really happy to speak tonight because of such a positive experience that I had with the program. Going into it as a senior, I was just trying to sign up to as many programs as I could because it was my final year. But I definitely got a lot of benefit out of it, and it's something that even now to my friends that are undergrad, I always tell them to make sure to sign up because it was a really great experience for me. So thank you.
Thanks, Sam. Congrats on graduating too. So exciting. And Sam's got a great internship lined up this summer, so really excited for her. Thank you both. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Dean Phillips, and we're going to do some mentor awards. So, Joe.
Okay, thank you so much, Megan, and thank you, Iman, and thank you, Sam. And like Megan said, congratulations on graduating. So we're going to start with the 5-year awards, and I'm going to ask Mary Lou has what it looks like. She can raise it up and say a few words, and then you can put it on speaker screen and you can see, I don't know how well you can see it with all the little boxes, but if you want to see it, put it on speaker screen and she'll say a few words and then you'll see it. Mary Lou.
Thanks, Joe. We'll have awards for each of our award winners. Actually, they're all right here in my home office, so we'll make sure those get to you either at home or work. So to start off, the 5-year plaque says your name and appreciation for 5 years of service in the Albers Mentor Program. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's one for each of you.
Great, thank you. So if you're getting your 5-year award, I'm going to be reading out your name, and if you could just, wave, people try to spot you or say something, and we'll be able to locate you on the checkerboard here. So our first recipient of the 5-year award is Katie Bardero, and Katie is the Vice President of Analytics and Advice at Syndio Solutions. So Katie, say hi.
Hi, thanks everybody. I've been thrilled to be a part of the mentorship program. It's super rewarding, and I'm just so excited to play a tiny role.
And thank you. And I love that title, VP of Analytics and Advice.
Yeah, it's I love it too. I tell my husband all the time he has to listen to me because it's my job to give advice. So
yeah, I'm going to ask Shane if he'll change my title to Dean and Vice President of Unwanted Advice. Right?
We'll take that under consideration, Joe.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Sujan Bertram. She is Vice President of Global Operations at Open Market. Sujan, say hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love being a part of this program. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you go through to make this happen. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Michelle Bice. Michelle is Director of Market Access for Provention Bio. Michelle.
Thank you. Love the students and being a part of their journey from their academic life into professional life. So appreciate being here.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Nick Brazel. Nick is Financial Reporting Manager at Silverbake Therapeutics, and he's in the Accounting Mentor Program. Nick?
Hi, everyone. Yeah, really thankful to be a part of the program and looking forward to doing it for many years.
Thank you. Next, we have Joe Moffitt. Joe is Risk and Regulation ERC Manager at PwC, and he's also in the accounting program. Joe?
Hey, everyone. Thanks. This is a program I look forward to partaking in every year. So it's refreshing to be with students and being able to share some advice with them and help them out along the way. So like Nick said, I'm looking forward to being a part of this program for a very long time.
Thanks so much, Joe. Next, we have Jeremy Munn. Jeremy is Senior Director of Success Operations at Outreach. Is Jeremy with us? Okay, well, he's going to get a plaque too. Thanks to Jeremy. And then we have Stuart Walton. Stuart is a former instructor of entrepreneurship. He has been a corporate treasurer and a small business owner prior to retiring. So Stuart.
Thank you very much, Dean Phillips. And I've enjoyed very much helping Seattle University sort of shape that mission statement for the international students and trying to become an extension of the faculty in all different areas. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So thanks to all of our 5-year award winners. Let's give them a round of applause. Great. Now we're going to move on to do our 10-year awards. We have 5 people receiving 10-year awards, and 3 of them are with us, I believe. So first is Kevin Bell. Kevin is a principal at KMB Consulting. Kevin, are you here? Must have gotten stuck in traffic, I guess. I don't know. We know that the next one is here. So Dave McMillan is senior manager at KOM Consulting, and he's in the accounting program, mentor program, as we know. Dave?
Well, thank you, Dean. I appreciate it. Sam was on today. She said things that were really kind and nice, and I know she was talking about someone else. Could not have been me. She did really good this year, but thank you so much for the program, because it is one of a kind. It was one of the first in the country, and it's just for those like Sam that participated and all the other students, I know that they all benefited. So, and also all the mentors as well. So thank you all.
Thank you, Dave. And it's all the students always, take the show in terms of really telling us how powerful the program is with their comments. Yes. And then the third 10-year award that we recognize is Marty Weiss. Marty is president of Invesco Financial Corporation. Marty.
Hi, everybody. Boy, 10 years seems like it passed like it was just yesterday. I enjoy working with the students. Every year it's a different set, and I gotta confess, we did finish our program with one in-person session, because I like to show the people of the projects. We show them on paper. I cover the real people that are interested in real estate, and I gotta bring them out and show them the thing in person. So
I'm sure it was all consistent with the state's guidelines, right?
Oh, of course, we all had this.
Great. Well, thanks to our 10-year award winners. Let's give them a round of applause, huh? Okay, and now it is back to Megan to introduce our next 2 students.
Great, thanks, Joe. So 2 more student reflections. We have Taylor Keating with us, and Taylor just graduated as well. It's a very exciting time for all these students. Taylor was a finance and Spanish double major, and she participated in the Albers mentor program. So Taylor, I'll head it over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I figured I would speak to the theme of this year, which was the gift of mentorship. And this program itself has been a gift to me in multiple ways. But first, I would like to thank Megan, of course, for encouraging me to join the program. I did it as a senior, and it was great to have Megan encourage me to take advantage of the resources that Albers provides to students that are pre-grad and post-grad like myself. They don't just end when you graduate, which I think is so wonderful. The program also gave me the gift of Scott Bond, who is my mentor. He was incredible. I don't think he's here, but he was amazing. And he was someone who I could call and text and email with a lot of questions. And I trusted him to answer me honestly and candidly. And as a COVID-19 graduate with many unknowns ahead, honest responses were pivotal in helping put my worries to ease, and also helping my confidence in my abilities and the success that I could see in my corporate career. So Scott is someone who brings a lot of energy to our mentorship group, and I love that about him. And it gave us all, I think, a lot of confidence and excitement, especially for post-grad. It's hard to get excited in a COVID-19 world about graduates. And so Scott's, advice and stories and his experiences in his own office every day, I think were something that helped me really look forward to what I could experience in the future. And then lastly, I think the program also gave me the gift of friendship. My mentorship group was a group of people who I'd never met before. And we instantly became friends. They were people who I, to this day, text about advice and questions, and we give each other a lot of encouragement. One of my group members, I actually ended up taking a class with halfway through the year, and we worked on a group together, which I think is pretty unique as a senior student. Sometimes you already have your friend group formed, and to have a bond with somebody who's new and people who you have shared future goals with and aspirations, who I now get to experience this new chapter of life with, I think is really something that's special and unique to this program. So overall, I think I'm just really grateful for my time in this program, and I'm leaving Seattle University knowing that the relationships that I've built through the mentorship program don't end when the program ends. Rather, they're relationships that are built for life, and I know that with talking to my group and my mentor. And I know that this is an amazing program and it will continue to benefit students for years to come. And I'm so grateful for all of the mentors who have dedicated years of their time to this, because, students like us, we really need that mentorship and confidence. So I appreciate you all for being here.
Thank you, Taylor. Congrats on graduating again. And hopefully, we hope with all four of you that, in a few years you come back and go full circle and be mentors as well. So, and our final student reflection is from Zoe Haywood. Zoe is, I think, Zoe, you just graduated, right? Too, from the Master in Sport Business Leadership program. And she was part of the Master in Sports Leadership program, mentor program this year. So Zoe, go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks so much for having me today. Like Megan mentioned, I did just graduate on Sunday with a master's in sports business and leadership, which is transitioning to an MBA in sports business and entertainment, I believe. My mentor was Chris Hartley. He's the athletic director at Lakeside High School. I'm really interested in kind of getting into the athletic director realm. So as was previously mentioned by a couple of the other student speakers, I had a really, really amazing experience. Really, I give a lot of credit to how individualized all of the mentors were. So we had so many options of really what path we're looking to go for, and being matched accordingly to an appropriate mentor. And Taylor had mentioned it is kind of hard to get excited about graduating in a COVID world when all we're living in these little boxes on Zoom. But my relationship with Chris was really, really helpful and beneficial in that, it really gave me a vision of why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing and working so hard, and kind of just that light at the end of the tunnel of that's what we're all working towards. And he was also really candid in his conversations, and I really appreciated just the transparency that he provided of the reality of what he's dealing with now and in previous years throughout his career. I think that this is such a valuable experience for any student, whether undergraduate, graduate, any level, to be able to utilize. And I am forever grateful, and I still am in contact with Chris and look forward to maintaining that relationship. So overall, just a 10 out of 10 experience. So thank you again.
Thanks, Zoe. Congrats on graduating. Good luck with everything. So thank you, students. We really appreciate it. I know this is always the mentor's favorite part. Everybody's always like, how did I do? What do my students think of me? Please give me feedback. So thank you for providing that today. We really appreciate it. And now Joe is going to do the 15-year awards.
Yes, thanks so much, Megan. And thanks to Taylor, and thanks to Zoe, and congratulations to both of you. So yes, 15-year award. We have 3 recipients. Fortunately, they're all with us this afternoon. First recipient is, well, actually, I forgot to turn it over to Mary Lou so she can show you the plaque for the 15-year. You might as well show the 10-year, because I think I forgot to do that one too. So Mary Lou, the floor is yours, and put it on speaker view if you want to get a good view of it.
And your award winners, your award too, right here in my hand. I hope you can see it. It's a little bit bigger than the 5 years. So 5-year mentors, see what you get when you move to 10 years. So we'll make sure for those of you at the 10-year mark, we'll get your award. Now, wait till you see what you get when you're at 15 years mentors. It gets a lot heavier, and it's actually glass etched, and they're beautiful. So again, an appreciation for 15 years of service to the Albers Mentor Program for our 15-year award winners.
Great. All right, thank you. So our first 15-year award winner is Dave Hill. Dave is president of Sonata Capital Group. Dave, I know you're here with us.
Well, hello, everybody. First of all, I appreciate the award, but truly, to be honest with you, the award is actually getting to work with these wonderful students over all these years. I just want to congratulate all the graduates this year. How exciting. I also want to say thanks to Dean Phillips and Megan and Mary Lou and the faculty and staff at Seattle University for putting this program together and doing such a wonderful job with our students. And finally, I would just like to thank Father Sundberg for 24 years of leadership, and we wish you well in the future, and thank you again for everything you've done.
Thanks, Dave. We also have Rick Sass. Rick is a career coach and consultant with LHH, and I know Rick's here with us. Rick?
Thanks, Dean Phillips. I really appreciate it. I think reiterate kind of what Dave said. This is a great program. One of the things I remember most about it is I joined the program the same year that Megan joined the department, so we can always keep track. And I don't know quite how that works because I don't recall her being 15 years old at the time, but nonetheless, 15 years have gone by fast. I give great credit to the full team that you've put together here, Joe. I know Megan and Mary Lou, I give a lot of credit every year because I end up with just great students every single year and great matchups. And I know other mentors say the same thing when we talk, is that I truly believe we get as much out of the program as they do. And I think that's part of what helps us makes it so easy for us to come back year after year, because we truly appreciate not just what the students bring to the whole program, but what we get from the program as well. And it's not just from feeling good about being able to share our knowledge and so forth, but it's just a fabulous program, and I have enjoyed being a part of it all these years. So thanks a lot to the entire group and to the mentors, or the mentees that I've had over the years, I should say.
Thanks, Rick. And then our third recipient is Sean Sigmund. Sean is Vice President of Business Development for Informed DNA. Sean, I know you're here.
I'm here. Thanks, Joe. And I do want to commend Megan, Mary Lou for kind of the consistency and the outreach that they do to support the program. There's been times when it's like, even though I love being a mentor, I love the interactions with the students, it's hard. There's time commitments. There's time when it just becomes like, God, Lee, you know, can I do this again? And I think that they're a fantastic representation of the institution and the university in terms of their outreach and consistency, and their own dedication makes me want to kind of stay involved. That being said, part that keeps me motivated was the mentor I had when I was at the Seattle UMBA program 15 years ago, which is Chris Porter. I don't think he's here today, but real shout out to him in terms of he established the model of someone who was really just candid advice, helped me throughout my career. And I've turned to him many times at different transitions along the way. So I hope that for all of you who are either mentors and you're kind of building it, that you stay in touch with your own mentors and encourage others to be a mentor moving forward. So Chris has really helped me kind of think about service and, you know, just go for what you want in your career, things like that, kind of have confidence. And then lastly, I do a fair amount of volunteerism over for Bloodworks Northwest as well. And just as a shout out to that organization and to everyone on this call, there is a national blood shortage due to COVID and the changing of dynamics of how blood is collected in this country. And so I encourage you all, if you can, to think about donating blood in the coming period of time and becoming a regular blood donor, because it really, really helps. So that's it. That's my pitch. So thank you, Joe, for the platform here, and thanks your team for building a great program. Proud to be a part of it.
Thank you so much, Sean. So again, let's give a hand to our 15-year award winners. We have one 25-year award winner this year, Jeff Levy, who is the owner of the Entrepreneur's Source. Unfortunately, Jeff is not able to be with us today, but nevertheless, I think everybody realizes how impressive to get a 25-year award, to be a mentor for us for 25 years is really an amazing contribution. So we really appreciate everything that Jeff has done for the program over the years. I'll just say a few things about Jeff. He's a coach, an author, a speaker, and an educator. He is an expert in small business development with a focus on franchising. His own small business has been helping franchisees for almost 20 years now. And over his 25 years of service, Jeff has mentored 58 students. So that is quite a legacy for Jeff, and we appreciate everything that he continues to do for us and our students. So another round of applause for Jeff, even though he's not here. And Mary Lou, do you have what Jeff is going to get? I don't know.
I do, Joe. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Jeff is getting a beautiful vase, and Jeff did want to share his remarks that he wishes he could be here, although he's helping, I think, the son move. And so, you know, I look around the Zoom meeting today, and I know many of you were referred to us by Jeff. There's one, Rick, with a thumbs up. So over the 25 years, Jeff's not only been a great mentor, but he's just been a huge advocate for us and for our program. So I know we are forever grateful for his service.
Great, thank you. So, and now we get to the final award, which is an amazing 30-year award, and it's going to go to Willie Akins. Willie is the former director of company-wide process and strategy for information technology at Boeing. He's retired now, of course. And during his time at Boeing, Willie served 43 years, working in a variety of roles in engineering, information technology, flight test, human resources, manufacturing, sales, marketing, product. So just an amazing track record, not just in our mentor program, but also at Boeing. He also served on many national and international boards and commissions, including representing aerospace on President Clinton's Y2K commission. And he was even president of the Rainier Club from 2009 to 2010. So he's been very, very active, and that includes his work in our mentor program. Willie is an alum of our MBA program. He was one of the first graduates of our MBA program. And he's also been, of course, a very supportive and active member of my advisory board. Ever since I arrived as dean, Willie has been on the board, and he's been very supportive and very helpful. So helping the Albers school students in many different ways. Over the past 30 years, Willie has mentored 86 students. So that's an amazing track record for Willie. I think Willie's wife, Dorothy, is with us tonight. Is that right, Willie?
That is right. Dorothy is
So we
here.
want to thank Dorothy, because of course, when you do it for 30 years, your wife has to make some sacrifices and compromises on behalf of our students. We also would like to recognize and thank Shauna Quinn. Is Shauna here? I don't know. But Shauna is an office administrator at Boeing, and she's been very supportive of Willie and his mentoring for the last 6 years, which means she's earned a 5-year award, Willie. So we'll have to figure out how to get that to her, because I don't think she's received it yet.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, Willie, I don't know, I can't exaggerate, say it too often, but incredible that you've been able to work with our students for 30 years. And we so appreciate that. And you've had such an impact on them. It's not just that they have been your mentee, but you have a very powerful program that you put them through. And, everyone that I've ever talked to that's been your mentee has really, really appreciated everything that you put into your mentoring. So thank you so much for doing that. And, say a few words for us, will you?
Certainly. When we started this program, the prevailing conversation around Seattle U was Elgin Baylor and the O'Brien brothers. It was the imagination and vision of Father William Sullivan, who was the president at the time, and Jerry Viciani, who was the dean of Albers. They brought a mentor program in here from Southern Methodist University. We model our program after theirs. And then with the advent of a Jesuit, Father Stephen Sunborough, the president currently and is retiring, and a dean, Joseph Phillips, they continued a vigorous and imaginary program with the help of Mary Lou Moffett and Megan Spaulding. Albers was the best kept secret in the business community in Seattle at the time. Not only has it reviewed things that are different now, but they are now a beacon in the business world, and we've attracted many major businesses along with our execs, and we're rated on the nation. It's been a privilege and an honor to serve and pay it forward for 30 years. I've made a lot of meaningful relationships with people in the advisory board of Albers, and I learned a lot from the mentors. And I've actually made a dent in the careers of a lot of my students. I always tell them that I expect them to come to me with an attitude. And if they don't have an attitude when they come, by George, when they leave, they have an attitude. I'm especially proud of the support from Dean Phillips and from Mary Lou and Megan. They have witnessed a very big challenge in COVID-19, and they have survived it. And I hope in the future that we can have a different new normal. Some of the highlights, one was having Robbie Resnoff at age 5 days, the son of Nate Resnoff, a born engineer and a mentee. His wife, Ann, and her mother bring Robbie to one of my sessions with Paul Pasquire at the Wild Fin restaurant in Renton. And lo and behold, at the ripe old age of 6 months, Robbie attended my 25th celebration, and there were oohs and ahs and hugs and kisses among the ladies and with some of the few men too. And my wife Dorothy witnessed that too. Second thing is that we had an individual who had graduated from UW 20 years ago and decided he wanted an MBA. Megan and me convinced him that he would fit into this program, and to this day, he's doing an excellent job. And the last highlight is that to see some of my mentees come back as mentors in Albers, that's the gold standard. In summary, the Boeing Company support cast, and I've had a lot of help with a lot of the executive assistants, they've been invaluable. And I owe a debt of gratitude to Paul Pasquire, who is a former VP of Boeing and the focal point to Seattle U, and his executive assistant, Shauna Quinn, whom you mentioned, who without them, my program would have not been possible. So it was very worthwhile to have them. And lastly, without my wife, Dorothy Aiken, and the last 30 years would not have been possible. So with the support and the woman I love, I have made it work. And Dorothy has told me to really be brief, and I see the hook coming. So I have 3 words. I had fun.
Thank you so much, Willie. Thank you so much. And thanks to Dorothy and thanks to Shauna.
Thank you.
So this
Joe,
concludes.
can we show Willie's award?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Jeez. Mary Lou, go for it. You should unmute yourself so you can be in the big screen.
Willie, you've got a clock coming. Engage.
Oh.
You probably have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and now we'll add a 30-year award to your show as well. Dorothy, thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Mary Lou. Well, as I was saying, this concludes the formal part of our program. And we did say that people could stay around and mix and mingle. The staff can put you into different breakout rooms if you wish to do that. So you don't have to rush off. Megan did want me to say that the save to date on the Albers Mentor Fair is October 1st. We don't know yet whether it's going to be face-to-face or virtual, but we'll keep you informed and we'll figure it out along the way. And whatever policies and guidelines are out there, we'll be following them. For the mentors, I want to say one more time, thank you so much for everything you do. You heard the testimonies from the students, very powerful, and they definitely demonstrate the impact that you all are having. And I also want to thank the students for being with us and giving us their reflections. I want to thank Father Steve for being with us. I want to thank Provost Martin for being with us. And again, I want to also thank the staff, Megan, Mary Lou, Justin, Abby. Thank you for all you do for our students and for taking such good care of their mentors. So with that, the formal part is over, and as I said, you're free to hang around and talk to people and catch up. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, everybody, for coming.
Congratulations, Joe. Great program.
Thank you, Megan, for that.
Thanks, Joe, for emceeing.